before I rode a Supermoto, I used to think they were dumb. So what the do you need a Supermoto for? I'd rather have a dual sport, man. But until I actually got a Supermoto and saw their true benefits, and now that's the #1 motorcycle that I love. Although you hear me hooting and hollering about how awesome my custom 2019 YZ450FX Supermoto is, which I did a full build series, links in the description and comment section of this video, there are some things about the Supermoto that you don't hear about, you know, which could be negative for some people and positive for others. But in this video, I'm going to tell you 5 things that nobody tells you about Supermotos. Stay tuned.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
Whatever motorcycle you ride, make sure you wear the full gear to help keep you safe out here on the streets. And I have some awesome gear, like this is my favorite helmet, which is a super lightweight carbon fiber helmet that comes with an automatic tint shield, my motovlog camera, airbag vest to help keep you safe, gauntlet gloves. I have links to all my gear in the description and comment section of this video. It's nothing like hearing that brap brap brap. Oh, I love this bike, man. Telling you, boy. Number 5 thing that you don't hear about with Supermotos, hardly anybody talks about this, is that, you know, you can take Supermotos off-road, right? You see me doing it, but you cannot ride a Supermoto off-road like a dirt bike at all. It's not, you have to ride it completely different off-road because Supermotos have 17-inch wheels, as where the dirt bike has a 21-inch wheel on the front, you know, and an 18 on the back. So they navigates over logs a whole lot easier than on Supermotos with the 17-inch front wheel. I tell you, I learned the hard way with that. You know, back in the, you know, in 2019, I was riding off-road and I was standing up, you know, like I was on a dual sport or whatnot, and there was a hidden log and my front wheel hit that log, and I wasn't expecting it, and that front wheel didn't go over the log right, and it kind of threw the bars, and I lost control and I landed on my shoulder and I broke my collarbone. That's why now you see, ever since that accident, I don't stand up when I go off-road like I do, like you would on a dual sport or a dirt bike. I sit seated now, and I'm very cautious going over logs or whatnot, and cautious riding off-road. And I tell you, if you're gonna ride off-road, you know, you got to be very careful with it. But anyways, number 4 thing that they don't tell you about a Supermoto is that cops do not bother you, especially if you're out here by yourself. I have never gotten bothered by the cops ever, and you see me, I'm busting wheelies, ripping the throttle and everything else, man, and cops do not follow me. They don't bother me. Some of them even have come up to me and talked. They love dirt bikes and told me, asked me about this bike and everything. I've never got, even on the WR250R, the cops have never bothered me on that bike whatsoever, ever. These are not threatening looking bikes, you know, like a super sport or super bike, where you know they like to creep and follow you, man, because they know you're gonna rip the throttle somewhere with that bike. This bike is, they think you can't go too fast on this anyhow. You ain't gonna do much with it. They may think you're going to the next trail or something or whatever. So that is a real benefit, guys. That's one thing. Another benefit to why I like this motorcycle is because I don't get harassed by cops. When I was on the CBR 600RR and the 1000, I get followed by cops sometimes, man. And I got my speeding tickets on those sport bikes, but they don't bother me on this bike, man. I'm sure if you get caught busting a wheelie past them or speeding, I'm sure they're gonna pull you over. Maybe they won't. I don't know. They probably will. That brings me to number 3 thing you don't hear about with Supermotos that much, except for if you're listening to my videos, watching my videos. I always talk about how cheap Supermotos are to own and insure. A lot of people don't realize just how cheap they are to own and insure. And reason being is because very few people take claims when they crash this bike, very few people take a claim out on insurance when they crash their dual sport or their supermoto bike, because you can fix these up so easy. They're cheap. The plastics are cheap to fix, and unless you bend the, you know, most people, only time you're gonna take an insurance claim is if you bent the frame or something. Otherwise, you can fix it yourself. They're so durable. And I'll tell you, I pay about $100. I pay just about $100 a year to insure full coverage, 100,000 limits on this. And I think I've got even a zero deductible. I pay $100 a year, guys, with a zero deductible. It's cheap, very cheap. Now try getting that insurance rate for a super sport or a super bike. It ain't happening, Jack. You're gonna be paying a fortune, especially if you live down south, like in Florida or something, boy. Woo! They gonna hit you hard with insurance rates down there in Florida, man. But I'll tell you guys, I need to bust me a wheelie. So oftentimes you see me, I go into a neighborhood and bust a wheelie out here, man. Because cops don't hang around out here in these areas. They don't hang out in neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? They only come to neighborhoods when they're called. You know, that's why you don't spend too much time in the same area. Because, you know, eventually these people will probably call the cops on you. But yeah, man, these bikes are so cheap to insure. Like I said, what's really awesome about the supermoto, amongst many things, is that these things are so durable. Oftentimes when you crash them, you can pick them right back up and you're good. You know, you don't really, man, I looped a wheelie on my WR250R back in the day. Picked it right back up. And the only thing that was wrong with it was a bit, what you call pig. That's it. Cheap. It was like what, a $30 fix. That's it, man. If that was a sport bike and I looped a wheelie on there, guarantee you guys, and it's going to be probably going to be about, if you get an OEM fairing, it can run up to $500 plus to replace that OEM fairing. But anyways, take you to number 2. What they don't tell you about supermotos is put ADV tires on your supermoto, like I do, especially if you're going to do any type of riding up staircases or riding off-road. And you can make them tubeless, like I did. I did a video on how to make your supermoto wheels tubeless. So that way, if you get a flat out there, it's easy to plug it up and be on your way in minutes, as opposed to having to deal with a tube. But what's awesome about the ADV tires is that they have a rubber compound. It's made of a rubber carcass that resists tearing. That's good for off-road, but yet you can rip it out here on the streets and even go low around corners or whatever. Unlike knobbies. Knobbies, you can't go low. You're going to end up low siding, which I've done on the WR250R, man. On my bike, I have the Shinko 705 ADV tires, which have been awesome. I have a link to them in the description and comment section of this video if you want to get them. And on my website, CycleCruza.com, I got links to all the mods I've ever done to any of the bikes I've ever owned. But anyways, it takes me to the number one thing that you don't often really, nobody tells you about the supermotos, is that you can make your own custom supermoto and make it street legal, which I know you've heard that before. You can take a dirt bike and make it street legal, but people don't tell you how easy it is. A lot of you guys are hesitant to do that. You know what I did on this bike, made it a custom supermoto and made it street legal. It's so easy, guys. Is that you don't even have to get an inspection here in Ohio, and some other states are like that too. I don't know about other. All I can tell you about is Ohio. All you got to do is go to the title bureau, and you change it over, the title over to a motorcycle title, and they have you sign an affidavit or a paper there stating that you put a horn, lights, your headlight, or whatever, you know, the street legal stuff requirements. You check off on that and you sign it. They don't even have to see that you did it. You can just be lying to them and check it off. They're going to hand you over a motorcycle title. You take it to the DMV, you got plates. It's that easy, guys, here in Ohio. Super easy. So it's not a difficult process. So for those of you guys that want to do what I did, which has turned out to be amazing. And I just keep acting a fool, but I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna get wheelie-itis. Guaranteed wheelie-itis, guys. If you get a bike like this, a 450, and convert it into a street legal supermoto, you're gonna be busting some wheelies out here. The bike is gonna be doing wheelies itself. It's gonna make you do a wheelie. And I tell you, this is a great place to bust some wheelies here, so that the cops don't bother you, man. And yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. And I tell you guys, I was the main reason I was hesitant on taking a dirt bike and making it a street legal supermoto was because I heard you had to do a lot of valve checks so often, like every 8 hours or something like that, on these dirt bikes. And since I got this bike, I didn't do one valve check on this bike, guys, and I've had it since September of 2018. Not one valve check. Now you have to do frequent oil changes on this because it holds very little oil, just a little over a half quart of oil. So I change the oil like every 8 to 10 to 12 hours, just depending. Obviously, you don't have to change the oil as much as you do if you're riding off-road, because it's not getting a ton of dirt or anything like you would off-road. But this bike runs better now than it did when I first got it, man. I had no issues whatsoever. Now and you're also supposed to do a top-end rebuild on this bike after so many hours or whatnot. In the manual it says you're supposed to do a top-end rebuild on this bike after I think 12 hours or something crazy like that. I plan on doing one after about probably 100 hours or so, or maybe even longer. That I could probably go. Because I tell you, with the Yamahas, the reason why I went with the Yamaha is because they are notorious for their valves not going out of spec. So, but I'm telling you guys, get a supermoto, you'll love it, man. Best thing I ever did, guys, hands down. But anyways, guys, make sure to hit thumbs up, subscribe to my all-in motorcycle channel, make sure to share this video, and also make sure to check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later.
Thumbs up, check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bug Out Moto.